Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be reacting to a video called The 10 Oldest Cities in the UK. I think obviously the UK is a really old country, as in most countries in Europe. I don't know which ones would be the oldest country actually, but I'm expecting some pretty old cities, probably 1,000 years old. It wouldn't surprise me. But let's check it out and comment, like and subscribe.
So what are the oldest cities in the United Kingdom? Well, there are 10 that are so old that they predate the record books themselves and are said to have held their city status since time immemorial.
If there are no records though, how do you know it's that old?
Before I dive into the list though, I should explain briefly what constitutes a city in the UK.
Yeah.
In short, there are two kinds. Those with an Anglican cathedral, which alone qualifies.
Yeah, it's crazy, but yeah, what constitutes a city or a town? A church. That's the first. That's the first thing. It sounds crazy, but it is.
Qualifies them by ancient prescriptive right.
Yeah.
And those who were granted city status following an application. The latter kind came about during Queen Victoria's reign, where many industrial towns became cities. But we're here to focus on the former, specifically those.
So you had to have permission from the crown? Okay.
Whose founding date is unknown, mostly on account of the poor record keeping of the Saxons.
Well,
for perspective,
also, it's kind of hard for those records to have survived.
The oldest UK city with a definitive date is believed to be Durham, founded in AD 995, assuming the records of the time are accurate. So the 10 oldest cities, in order from north to south, rather than chronological order, as that part is unknown, are as follows. Number 1. Originally a Roman settlement founded in AD 71 under the name Eboracum, the city of York is situated at the confluence of the River Ouse and River Foss.
I had no idea this city was that old, and it was a Roman settlement at some point.
And it became a suitable outpost at which the Romans could suppress the local tribe, the Brigantes. In the 4th century, Emperor Constantine the Great was declared...
Is that from... No, I don't think this is from Roman times, but this looks old, that structure.
Roman Emperor in York, and he became the first to allow Christians to worship freely. And by the year 314, Eboracum had its first bishop. In the 7th century, the Saxons came and named it Eoforwic, with the wic suffix suggesting that it was a trading centre. In 601, Pope Gregory sent a mission to convert the British to Christianity. He selected York to be the church's centre in the north. In 735, York became an...
So it's a pretty sort of important city and has been historically up north?
Archbishopric. In AD 866, the Danish Vikings conquered Eoforwic and put their own Scandinavian spin on it, naming it Jorvik, and made it their effective capital in the British Isles.
It was capital.
Its iconic cathedral, York Minster, or to give it its official name, the Cathedral and Metropolitical Church of St. Peter in York, was consecrated in 1472 on the site of an old Saxon church.
It's insane, the numbers, it's so incredibly old.
To date from the 7th century, which in turn was on the site of the old Roman Basilica. This is of course the seat of...
Okay, so the structure is not the same, but the place remains.
The Archbishop of York. Number 2. In the 6th century, St. Dainiol founded a monastery in a settlement in the area we now refer to as North Wales. This became known as Bangor, meaning wattled enclosure in Old Welsh. Dainiol became the first...
Wait, but Wales, isn't Wales a country?
Bishop of Bangor in the Kingdom of Gwynedd. On the site of the original monastery...
Oh, Gwynedd was... I know it as a name, but I had no idea what's the name of a city.
...is Bangor Cathedral, which was built in the...
It makes sense, actually, with all those G's and W's.
12th and 13th centuries. Restorations took place over the centuries following various attacks, including one instance when King John destroyed it during a raid on Gwynedd.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. There's been so many attacks and it's been destroyed. Yeah, well, what do you expect? It's incredibly old.
Bangor is the oldest city in Wales, or to put it another way, the oldest city in the UK outside of England. Number 3. In the 7th century, St. Chad, Bishop of Mercia, declared this city his bishop's...
Those houses remind me of the sort of German architecture.
...seat. The settlement was Lichfield, and it became the focal point of Christianity in the Kingdom of...
I've never heard of this.
...of Mercia. Following Chad's death in 672, Lichfield became a place of pilgrimage. A Saxon church was built, which became his resting place. In the same spot, the Normans built a new cathedral from the year 1085.
It's funny how they just keep destroying churches, but sort of building them in the same place.
The construction of the present cathedral
Okay, the architecture, it looks quite Gothic. It looks quite... It really stands out between the whole sort of town.
began in 1195, featuring the UK's only medieval triple spire.
Oh. It looks very
Number
different.
4. Very little is known about the Roman history of this city. But the
Okay.
Saxon settlers discovered a fort here and named it Weagorna Sestra, though the meaning of Weagorna is unclear.
What is that?
Nevertheless, the name evolved to Worcester. In the 7th century, the first cathedral at
Like the sauce?
Worcester was built, which became the seat of the Bishop of the Hwickers. Hwicker was a tribal kingdom existing from the 6th to the 8th century, situated around
There's so many tribal kingdoms and stuff. I have no idea what they are.
the area equating approximately to parts of Worcestershire, Warwickshire and Gloucestershire of today. Worcester
Is everything Shire? Yeah, of course.
was its capital. With the Viking invasion and subsequent establishment of the Danelaw in the 9th century, Worcester became a
Okay, so the Danes were really getting in there.
burh, i.e. a fortified settlement, as part of a move by King Ethelred and his wife Ethelfled to solidify the kingdom of Mercia against the Danish threat to the east. From the late 11th to the 16th century, a second cathedral was built in Worcester in a range of architectural styles from
How many cathedrals can there be?
Norman to Perpendicular Gothic.
It's very pretty. I
Number
love
5.
those sort of windows.
In the 7th century, Bishop Putter became the first bishop of this city and is believed to have been responsible for the construction of the first cathedral here.
Okay.
The city is Hereford. The name Hereford is
I don't think I've ever heard that one either.
believed to derive from Old English for army river crossing.
I love this little... It's a river. It's gorgeous.
It was a frontier settlement which saw various conflicts between the Anglo-Saxons and not only the native Welsh but the Danes as well.
Okay, so everyone was sort of fighting each other.
In 1079,
Wow, this
the
is
Normans
beautiful.
began the construction of the current Hereford Cathedral on the site of its Saxon
Oh, so it's this one hasn't been rebuilt or sort of restored?
predecessor. Work continued into the 13th century.
That's so old.
Number 6. Now, here's where things get a bit technical.
Okay.
In the eyes of the law, the City of London, with emphasis on the city, refers to the approximate area the Romans inhabited from the 1st century
What do you mean the city of London? Isn't London obviously the city? What do you mean? I'm guessing it's the metropolitan area and sort of downtown London?
AD, also called the Square Mile. This is actually both a city
I had no idea it was that old, actually.
and a ceremonial county in its own right, and an enclave surrounded by the ceremonial county of Greater London.
And honestly, that street is incredibly small. How it's only for people, I guess.
In the 9th century, Alfred the Great is believed to have come across the old Roman fortifications and turned it into a Saxon fortified settlement that could better
Okay.
withstand Viking attacks than the previous base, believed to be around
So the Vikings arrived in London? They were there?
the Covent Garden area, with two
I think that's quite south for Vikings.
street names of today providing clues, as in Old English, Strand means beach, and
Oh.
Aldwych means old trading centre.
Okay, I didn't know the names of the streets have remained unchanged.
Following the establishment of the Archdiocese of Canterbury, a cathedral was constructed in London in the 7th century and was dedicated to St Paul. This has gone
This
through
is so
various
old.
iterations up to the present structure designed by Christopher Wren in the aftermath of the Great Fire of 1666.
Yeah. It's crazy to think the Great Fire that happened 600 years ago was still quite old back back in those days. It was this city has been here for centuries.
Number 7. Before the Romans came, this area was home to a tribe known as the Cantiaci, from which the name of both the city and its county,
Canterbury? Is
Kent,
that a city?
derived.
Oh, Kent.
The city, of course, being Canterbury. After the Corellian
Okay, so I was right. I was confused.
invasion of AD 43, the Romans established a military base which they called Duravernum Cantiacorum. This
Oh.
became the principal trading centre for the surrounding area. Around AD 270, defensive
A lot of trading sort of cities and also a military base.
walls were put in place, which remain in place to this day, albeit with various reworkings. In the 6th century, the Jutes established the Kingdom of Kent, with Canterbury
those?
becoming its capital.
Oh.
In AD 597, St. Augustine
Very charming city. I think they're famous for a church or something.
arrived in England on a mission to convert its inhabitants to Christianity.
Okay.
In doing so, Augustine became
Makes sense. That was the deal. That was all the rage back in those days.
the first Archbishop of Canterbury.
Yeah.
By the 9th century, it was firmly established as the centre of the English Church. This did, however, mark it out as a target for the Danish Vikings across multiple generations.
Oh my,
In
okay.
1011, Canterbury Cathedral was burnt following the capture of Archbishop Althege.
Oh, well, that's
The
bad.
cathedral was rebuilt and subsequently burnt on 2 more occasions before being built
Oh my god, I can't believe it got burned in two times. Oh my god, what are the chances?
in stone. It was the site of the martyrdom of Thomas Becket in 1170 by the Knights of Henry II, and subsequently became a place of pilgrimage.
Oh.
Number
so-
8.
If it's still a place of pilgrimage, they must get a lot of visitors.
England's smallest city is also among
I love this. It looks sort of a fort, I think, in the middle of this beautiful river. Is there a castle here? It looks gorgeous.
its oldest, named after the wells in the grounds of the Bishop's Palace and the cathedral. The city of Wells is believed to have
Oh.
originated as a small Roman settlement. In the
This is quite confusing though. Welsh? Ah!
early 8th century, King Ine of Wessex chose Wells as the site of a minster church. By the early
Oh.
10th century, the Diocese of Wells had been founded by King Edward the Elder. This diocese moved to Bath in the Norman period, but as a compromise, a joint diocese was later set up between the two, but officially
I have no idea how those divisions work in the Catholic Church.
returned exclusively to Wells in the 13th
What? This is
century,
beautiful.
several decades after the construction had begun on Wells Cathedral.
I love this cathedral.
Number 9. The first inhabitants of this city are believed to be the Belgae tribe. The Romans arrived here shortly after the Claudian invasion of AD 43.
It's funny that all of them have the same history. The Romans went and then the Danes invaded. Okay, sure.
And established their own settlement, which they called Venta Belgarum. The meaning of
What does that
Venta
mean?
is uncertain, but
Okay.
believed to be a Brythonic word for market.
Oh,
When the Saxons discovered the abandoned Roman settlement, they named it Venta Casta,
but why did they abandon this?
meaning
They probably don't know. They have no idea.
Fort of Venta, which evolved into Winchester.
Oh,
In the 7th century, a church was built here, and in AD 676, the
if that's the church, it looks kind of modern.
Bishop of Wessex moved his seat to Winchester, effectively making it a cathedral. The
Can you do that? Can you just sort of move?
Normans would later demolish this in the late 11th century
Oh,
and
no.
begin to build in its place the present Winchester Cathedral, although work continued until the 16th century. In
Okay.
AD
Okay, so it is older than I thought. It looks modern.
871, Alfred the Great was crowned King of Wessex and established Winchester as its capital. When England became united as a single kingdom in the 10th century, Winchester remained the capital until the 12th century.
Oh, so it must
Number
be very
10.
important.
In the 1st century AD, the Romans ventured into an area of the southwestern British Isles, where they founded Isca Dumnoniorum, a name which references the Dumnoni tribe who predated the Romans, and
Okay, all those names I guess are in Latin. They're very confusing.
whom the county Devon is named after. The city was, of course, Exeter,
Oh,
and was situated at the southwestern terminus of the ancient Roman road known as the Fosse Way.
never heard
In
of
the
it.
7th century, the Saxons settled in the ruins of the abandoned Roman settlement, which they named
Everyone kept settling in the Roman ruins.
Escancester, whose name evolved to Exeter. Having been subject to various Viking attacks, it was fortified in the
course.
10th century by King Athelstan. In the year 1003, disaster struck as the Vikings plundered the city
Oh no.
after they were let in through the gates. Although more or less reduced to rubble,
Why would you let the Vikings go through the gates? What?
Exeter recovered, and
Come on,
by
the man.
1050, Exeter Cathedral was founded. From the early 12th century,
It's quite interesting. It's not that tall, but it's very, I don't know, sort of castle-like. It's very it's pretty.
it was rebuilt by the Normans. And those are the 10 oldest cities in the United Kingdom as it pertains to city status. And to reiterate, in no particular chronological order, as their dates of foundation will remain a mystery. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to like and subscribe. All the footage featured comes courtesy of my flagship channel, 4K Explorer. So if you'd like to see the complete walks of these cities, you can find a link to the channel in the description below. Have a great day.
I think it's really funny. A great video, but it's really funny that, yeah, we can't do the whole thing chronologically because we simply do not know. It's a mystery at which point in history they were founded, which I think is really funny. But I guess, of course, it makes sense. All cities, I think, yeah, especially I think older cities, because I think newer cities, as in 1700s, probably 1800s, and I think that's the case with a lot of American cities. You're gonna know, oh, of course you celebrate, this is you celebrate, not the independence, but you celebrate, it's the town's sort of anniversary, and you sort of celebrate that. But I'm thinking and comparing, obviously the years is very different because, yeah, of course we have recorded records and, this guy came and founded this city. But yeah, we're talking 1700s, 1800s. But in this case, yeah, it's sort of, we have no idea simply because obviously it's been so many years. It's incredibly old. Of course, the records have not survived. And some of them, apparently, there's some sort of, some civilizations, some of those people were not that great at keeping records, which of course, 1,000 years ago, even more, I think, they probably knew how to write, but, I'm guessing not a lot of people knew how to write, but still, I think they had other priorities and they weren't thinking, in not a million, but 1,000 years or 600 years from now, or 800 years from now, people are going to be wondering, hey, what is this town history? Well, of course not. We're fighting other people, we're fighting the Vikings, we're fighting Romans, we're fighting everyone, but the Normans, I don't know, we're fighting a lot of people. So of course they're not going to be great at keeping records. And even then, I think obviously it's really hard to just sort of maintain, because it's not as in modern, times, as in, I can put this in the cloud and put this information in the cloud and it's going to remain in the years for years and years. No. You need the written and the physical records, and maintaining that throughout so many years, wars, conflicts, things burned down. I don't know, there's so many things that can happen that of course they're going to be destroyed, and maintaining even just one little record, I think that's incredibly old. I think it's miraculous to me because again, it's been so many years. Again, you're not expecting something to remain that long in time. But I love it. I think there are a lot of towns I had never heard of before. I would love to visit them. They look very charming. I think that was my takeaway. They look sort of charming. I don't think, because again, I don't know if all England sort of looks like this and all the cities, and not the England, the UK, all the countries that encompass the UK. I don't know if they all look specifically like this, or just the oldest look like this, because there's a reason. There's a reason for this. It's because they're so incredibly old. But they are sort of, they all have this charm. They're very, sort of antique looking, which obviously makes sense. But I don't know, because I'm trying to liken this to other places, and there's something very particular about those cities that I can't explain. I don't know if it's just, again, that's just sort of British, or I don't know, but yeah, it's the architecture. I couldn't explain it, but it just looks very particular to, I guess this is in the United Kingdom, because all the cities have, even though they kind of they look similar, a lot of them. The churches are the one that do not look that similar, but the other buildings, I think, look quite similar between each other. Some of them, I think, would look a little German looking, just because of the very characteristics of German sort of panels and stuff. But that doesn't really look like Germany. So it is kind of, I don't know, it's interesting to me how sort of similar they all look, but at the same time you kind of get the influence from other places, and still they all look so old, which I guess obviously they weren't, all these houses or buildings or whatever, they weren't built in the year 1800. No, of course not. But it's been rebuilt, and of course, and it's been remodeled. but they still look quite, I don't know, old. And I'm not saying that as a bad thing. I think it's incredibly charming. It's nice for things to last a really long time. But I don't know, it's kind of funny, especially again in comparison to places like the US, in which you can find older things, but I mean, it's not like this, and they're not gonna be that old, they're not gonna look like that, and I guarantee they're just not that old. So even though they old, but old as in, I don't know, 1900s is not this, that seems, I don't know when this was built. So it looks, I don't know, it looks so charming, sort of enchanting. You kind of look, it looks to me as if, oh, you're sort of traveling back in time, because again, you feel, I don't know, I feel like I'm in an old-timey sort of place with the whole, I don't know, it looks sort of fairy tale like. Maybe I'm just me romanticizing this, but I don't know, I really like it. And the churches themselves and the cathedrals, I don't know what constitutes a church and what constitutes a cathedral, or I think, yeah, they're a bishop. I don't know. I have no idea. But they all look very, very pretty. I would like to sort of go on a tour guide, Aldo, and sort of visit all those churches because they are very majestic looking. And I would love to know more about the history. I know some of them, though, it was in this same place, but the original church was rebuilt and some of them got burned and so some of them got destroyed. But even then, they're incredibly old. And I love that each one of them, because even though they're sort of, and I already mentioned, there was all of those sort of the cities themselves look very similar, but the churches are very particular. And of course, I can't say, oh, that's the one in London. No, of course not. Or that's the one in Canterbury. But they look quite distinct from each other. So I would love to sort of go on a tour guide. I know what, if you will do this, if it's something that I don't know, some tour guides do, or you cannot do it yourself and just sort of organize. But I think it would be quite hard because, okay, it's sort of from north to south. It's quite, I don't know, it's going to take you a long time. Although it's only 10, so maybe it would only take you a couple of weeks. But I think the most surprising thing about this sort of history, to me at least, was that obviously I know the UK was invaded a bunch of times and they had the Saxons and the Vikings also came, and you have a bunch of other cultures and people. But it's kind of weird to me because I thought the Vikings invaded sort of one particular area in the UK. I didn't know, oh, they even got to London, they even got super south. I don't know why I had it in my mind that they sort of only invaded and conquered sort of the northern part, and I had no idea. No, they just went, they were all over the UK, which I had, again, no clue. I didn't know that, apparently London also, which, very, 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 I learned something today, but I wasn't expecting that because I know London as well is quite south, located in the south. So again, really, really surprising to me. And one other thing is that I was expecting Bath, because I know Bath is a really old place, and it's I think it was a Roman settlement. So it's kind of surprising to me that I didn't apparently it's not that old, which I thought, and I thought, Bath is probably one of the oldest cities in the UK. No, apparently no, it's not that old, apparently. So you know what? Again, learn two new things today. But that was it for today, and I'll see you next time. Bye.